Hi, it's Cara and this is Top 5 Wednesday. So today's topic is hidden gems in your favorite genre. I had a hard time picking this. As soon as you add the in your favorite genre thing, I'm thrown. I was looking at my shelves, looking for things that I consider hidden gems, going down my Goodreads list because I know a lot of my favorites are at my mum's house. But finding 5 that came from the same genre, hard. Also doesn't help that I, in the past year or so, haven't really read that much. And so I don't have that broader range of things that people haven't talked about. Some of these I've read years and years ago, but I did come across or found 5 that I would kind of call hidden gems, especially for BookTube in the fantasy genre. I kept it just fantasy in general, so this goes from middle grade through to adult, only because if I tried to limit that to one section, nope, nada, would not achieve. But so these are 5 fantasy books that I think are not talked about enough on BookTube. Apologies, some of these may actually be talked about a decent amount and I've just missed the people that love them, but please link me videos down below of people who love these books if you know. So first off, I'm going to talk about one of my favourite series, and that is the Chronicles of the Imaginarium Geographica by James A. Owen. This is the first one, Here There Be Dragons. I have the whole series, I've read them all, I love them, though I've never heard them mentioned on YouTube on BookTube other than by myself. So these are young adult, technically, though you could easily read them as adult and it would be fine. And it's a myth and mystery kind of story following our 3 main characters who, at the end of the 3rd book, you kind of find out are famous, like real life famous. And this is exploring these fantasy worlds that are kind of a culmination of both myth and famous fantasy, and so good. These at times don't make much sense. The plots can be a little bit all over the place, but in a kind of mythical, grandiose kind of way. Like, is grandiose the right word? They don't make sense, but they make sense at the same time. You sometimes left going, but still they work. And there's 7 books to this series. It is finished and definitely you should check it out. The dragons are amazing. They're boats. They're alive. So good. And our main characters are great fun to read from. And there's just so many characters that are like hidden in here, and it's just a great read. More people should be reading this series. Plus the covers are gorgeous. They're all this kind of dragon in different colors and it's so good. Then I have The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. I feel like a lot of people talk about Terry Pratchett in the kind of like niche spheres of adult science fiction fantasy lovers, but these are so accessible as people who aren't that into adult fantasy. They're really easy to read. They're essentially a large running, it's a Discworld series, part of the Discworld series, which is a large running, huge, it's got like 40 something books in it, but they all stand very much alone, and the different characters kind of, there's like maybe 10 different sets of main characters and they each kind of have their own books and every book stands alone. And they're kind of like fantasy real world parodies. Obviously the first one is The Color of Magic, and it is somehow like, they're amazing. They're so good. I can't marathon these, but you know me, I can't marathon much at all. So really, this is great. The fact that I can't marathon it says nothing. And they're so funny. Terry Pratchett just has a way with things that is just hilarious. It often has a lot of footnotes. I'm trying to find one in here, but maybe this one didn't have the footnotes. I don't know. I can't see them in here, but I've read other ones that definitely have footnotes from him. I have the first 2 books here and the like 17th, which is the one I'm actually up to reading, or I've recently read, and I'm trying to collect them all in this gorgeous hardback edition. We'll see how that goes. It's gonna take a while. Then I have here The Traitor by Seth Dickinson, which I think in America is released as The Traitor Barry Cormorant. The second one of these comes out really soon. I'm very excited. Essentially, I've included this on my list. It's a fantasy, obviously. I think it's adult with a lot of war and political intrigue. And I've included this on my list because I saw a lot of people hauling it when it first came out, but I haven't seen that many people review it or talk about it in wrap-ups. And it is amazing. The plot twists are brilliant, and this is so engaging. Though it is really complicated, the characters are really rich, there's a lot of political, social things going on. So good. Definitely actually read this, don't just haul it, it's amazing. Then I have a book I don't have on me. Again, it's with my mum. She has a whole lot of my books that I recommend to her. And this is The Sorcerer to the Crown by, can't remember, it's on the cover. This is I think I want to call it young adult, though it could be adult. Again, looks at a lot of political, racial things in this kind of like fun story with fairyland. I'm struggling to remember plot points, but the second one comes out this year, and I'm definitely keen to read it. This was a cover buy for me, and I hadn't seen anyone on BookTube talk about it. I think I saw it a couple of times afterwards, but only a handful of times, and no one reviewing it that I follow at least. But this was great. This was like a solid 5-star read, kick-ass female lead in a historical fantasy setting. The main character is an ex-slave, and oh, so good. Totally recommend this. Wizards, great. And finally, I have here The Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. This is the first in a middle grade series, of which I've read all but the most final one. Sorry if I've got a bit of shine off the cover. I've got a protective cover on it. This is a great middle grade series. It's middle grade, obviously, so it comes with all the kind of semi-childish things, but it's funny. It has a lot of hidden adult jokes. It's like a Disney movie in a book. It is so good. It follows our two main characters, Connor and Alex, who are twins, whose father, I think, leaves them this fairy tale book, and they kind of fall into it and end up in the fairy tale world where everyone kind of knows them, and they're trying to get home. And it's a very twist on the fairy tale world. There's like all your common Cinderella and Red Riding Hood and everything, but they're a little bit messed up. And it's so funny, and the books just keep getting better and better. They're great. So these are my top 5 hidden gems in the fantasy genre. Some of these I believe are highly rated if you're looking on Goodreads, but I just don't see them much around BookTube. So that should be rectified. You should read these. They're great. I'm definitely going to be looking at other people's hidden gem videos this week because I want to find other books that I should read that not many people talk about. So comment down below if you have any. Tell me your hidden gems. Especially in the fantasy genre, which is one of my favorites. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with another Top 5 Wednesday. Thanks, bye.